You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell. Sponsored by Absolute Mortgage, a division of Pinnacle Capital Mortgage Corporation. Now, in the studio, local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
Welcome back to The Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here at 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, April 9th show. It's a great day to talk money. It's always a great day to talk money. That's why I'm here, and what the show is all about: how to make money, save money, build a better quality of life for you and for your family. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. You can call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150, or online at themoneyhour.com to discuss anything regarding money with myself or ask any questions to the guests that I have in studio here today. Right now, I'm going to have a conversation with Jennifer Black with Caring Transitions Seattle, helping seniors transition with relocation, downsizing, and estate planning. Not just seniors, but I know you work 95% of your clientele is with seniors. So Jennifer, thank you for coming in. I know I've had your husband Ian a few times. The first time I've had a chance to chat with you.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
And a little bit about Jennifer. And I'll talk a little bit about both of them. They are both passionate about caring for seniors, and Caring Transitions Seattle is a direct result of that passion. As partners, Jennifer and Ian opening Caring Transitions Seattle as a result of their own families going through an emotional stress and helping their own parents transition from large homes where they have lived for decades to much smaller residents. Jennifer has 7 years experience as a licensed real estate agent in the Seattle area, and Ian is a certified aging in place specialist. Together, it's their goal to assist families in downsizing, liquidating decades worth of assets, preparing a family residence for sale, and creating a smooth transition into a new living space. So, Jennifer, what's new going on with Caring Transitions in 2016?
Well, it's been actually a very exciting year. We opened up the Seattle office in 2012, and then just growth over the last couple of years. It's amazing how many families out there need assistance, and so it's been exciting to see us expand into Bellevue in the east side. We have a designated office in that area, as well as the South Sound area. So now families can have assistance down into the Olympia area as well. And we go north up into Shoreline and Lake Forest Park. So it's really just reaching out, kind of expanding that area where we can help families with their downsizing. A couple other things that's really exciting to mention. We actually are going to be introducing this year a revamped CT Online Auctions website. So part of our business, you may know from past shows, is that we do offer an online format. And so we're hoping to expand that and make it just a really just a cleaner, nicer user experience. And so that's a big thing for us that we're really pleased about. And we also have a new studio space. We've just found that people have a need to not only just do estate sales, but also be able to do things off-site, do online sales off-site, estate sales off-site. So we just opened up a new studio space down in the SoDo area, which is really exciting. So yeah, things are all coming together.
Lots of new things going on.
A lot of new things coming together.
That is awesome. So with the growing service area, what are some of the challenges that you face in assisting families in the outlying areas?
You know, this is one of the things I think is so exciting. It's such a huge opportunity. You know, it's easy to go to a home on Mercer Island and put out signs and have an estate sale. You know, you're going to get the traffic. You know, you're going to get people that are going to want to come to that area. Well, one of the things that we've experienced is there's a lot of people that live in outlying areas that have beautiful homes and beautiful things in their homes, and just don't have the ability to find an alternative way to either sell those, or most importantly, people just want to know that their things are going to be cherished and used and appreciated by other people. And so what we're able to do now, having that new studio space, and also the new with the CT Online Auctions, we can offer an alternative to a traditional estate sale when maybe the location doesn't support that, where you're not going to be able to get the foot traffic, or maybe as we talked earlier, kind of keying in on the marketing timeframes, maybe it's best for people to move their things offsite and sell them so they can get the house on the market as soon as possible. So it really just having people in those areas and some alternatives, it really just gives families an opportunity to really just have other choices.
Yes, and
choices for
strategizing to see what the best choice is for your situation. So what criteria, Jennifer, do you use to determine if a client should have a traditional estate sale or do an online estate sale?
Yeah, it's really interesting. A lot of it depends upon the family.
Okay.
We always look at, I always call it volume. So, the volume of things in the house and the type of things in the house. There's certain items that just make a whole lot more sense for an online sale. Collections, for example. There's a lot of collectors out there. And, one thing that we do is we can reach a broader audience. We can go national. And so when someone has a unique collection, maybe that makes, the most sense for doing an online sale. Again, a difficult location. If you can't get parking, no one's going to come to your sale.
Yeah.
And there's also people that are just like, I'm private. I don't want my neighbors walking into my home. And so in that instance, maybe this is allowing them to, kind of get their home empty and sell those things, but, retain some privacy, which I think is very important.
Yeah. So Jennifer, we've talked about how your company works and assists with liquidating, but also you need to do more than that, also with downsizing services. So can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I think is important, and what I always like to talk about is, being one point of contact for families. When you start to think about the team, we were talking earlier about having kind of your solid team to support you. There's a lot of people that you have to get into the mix. And so if we can be one point of contact that helps you with your space planning, that helps you with your packing, moving, unpacking, your liquidation, and even what we call final clean out. So anything that can't be, liquidated or can't be donated needs to be disposed of. We can be the person that makes that happen. And we get you to the point where we can just kind of pass you off to your real estate agent and they can do their staging and, bring all their crew in to make it sell quickly. So
do you partner with a lot of realtors, Jennifer, to be a part of their team?
We do, actually. A lot of our referrals come from real estate agents. And I love that because I was in real estate prior to moving to Caring Transitions. And so I feel like I get to keep my fingers in the real estate market a little bit.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we really make a great partner. Typically what you'll find happens, something will happen within a family. And I think their first reaction is, we need to find a safe place for mom or dad. And so once that's done, their next reaction is, okay, I need to call a real estate agent. We need to sell the house.
Yep.
And so that's usually when we get brought into the mix because they're like, we don't know what to do.
They're not thinking
what do we do with all this
stuff?
Yeah. And
makes sense.
One of my things is, and hopefully this show will help us do that, families don't always have the ability to plan ahead.
Yes.
But I always say, if you have that luxury, planning ahead is the most important thing you can do. Because when you try and do it on the fly, the stress level for the parents and for the individuals, it's crazy. So planning ahead, whether that's a year in advance, 2 years in advance sometimes, or even 3 months, I think is really a great benefit to the family. And when you start to talk about letting go of the things and letting go of the house, if you plan ahead and you know what your new space is going to look like, what you can bring with you, it just makes that whole transition simpler. And it really sets a path for you in your new home, how you're going to feel about living there. How do you feel if you've had a harried, crazy experience versus, hey, this was really relaxing. I came home, all my things were unpacked. I sat down, had dinner with my family.
Yes. Yeah. So being able to emotionally disconnect, it takes time for that preparation.
It does.
That's awesome advice. So Jennifer, space planning, can you tell my listeners a little bit more about what that means?
Yeah. So I personally think it's the most important step. And I don't think everyone does that, unfortunately. And so maybe it's just an education process. They need to understand that it's something out there. It really what we do is we put together basically a detailed floor plan. We'll go into the homeowner's new apartment, condo, house, whatever, measure the space, look at all of the logistics, where's the cable, where's the phone, what will fit here, and then we'll come into their homes and say, all right, what do you want to take with you? What is it that you truly cherish and you'd want to have in your new home? And we'll walk through and we'll measure those pieces and we'll be like, yes, it'll fit.
Yep.
No, it won't. If it doesn't fit, then what's an alternative? How can we make it work for you? And it's really just trying to create that plan. And what's exciting, so people always think, oh, a space planet's going to be crazy. I can't afford to do it. And it's like, you can't afford not to do it.
Yes.
Because at the back end, it's going to save you so much on time. And again, people will move things over and it won't fit.
Yes.
And so then you're paying someone to move it back, or what do we do now? So really planning and space planning is a huge part of the process.
And we all know that time is money.
Time is
if
money.
You're wasting all of that time instead of doing it right the first time, so that you can, maximize that. So we talked about preparing. Best time. What would be that best time to prepare to downsize?
Well, like I said, if you have the luxury of time, being able to plan as far out as possible is great. Again, we do free consults, so I tell people, you can have me come out a year in advance, and there's no obligation. It's just, let's start a conversation.
Makes sense.
Most people will come and have maybe a month or two window, and that's fine. We can usually, help some within that period as well. A typical project for us from start to finish, we can get a house empty in 2 weeks if we need to.
Okay.
But we really like to plan it out a little further in advance. We want to make sure we do it the right way for the client, and that they feel good about it at the end of the day. And, the best we can, as far as timing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned clean out services. A little more detail for my listeners on what that is.
So usually what will happen is people will move. They'll try and do an estate sale or an online sale, and we do that in order to be able to try and just offset some of the costs of downsizing. So if you can sell things, that's great. Oftentimes, once a sale is finished, or some people don't have items that are really suitable for liquidation, that's when we come in and we, first thing we try and do is we try and donate as many items as possible. If something is not suitable for donation, then of course, recycling it or repurposing it in another way is our next priority. And some things just simply have to go to the dump. And so, but package that all together, and it's really just about getting the home empty. So again, realtors can come in and put their little mark on the house with staging and other things.
Got it. Jennifer, I've got a minute to wrap up the show, but I need to ask this. You guys have had so much success in your company, and that means that you are doing something that sets you apart from other companies, your competitors. What is that?
I really think truly it's being that one point of contact for families and just offering them alternatives. It's not a cookie cutter way that we do this. If it doesn't work to do a traditional sale, let's do an online sale. If I'm not the right fit for you, let me find someone that is. So it's bringing together a good team and helping the family make the right choice, whether it's me or someone else that's a better fit.
Wonderful. Jennifer, I'm glad that Ian let you out of the office to come visit me in studio this time.
It's been fun to be here. Thank you.
We'll have to have you both back at the same time.
Sounds good.
Thanks for coming in. This is your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, signing off for the day. I'll be here same time, same place next week, and right here on 1150 AM KKNW. Have a great weekend, everyone.